In the previous lecture, I mentioned the main components that make up a Python program, and those were functions, methods, and objects. In this lecture, I'll talk about variables. Now, you can find different definitions out there about variables, but a very simple way to define a variable is that a variable is like a container that is used to store objects. Storing objects in these containers not only keeps your code organized, but these containers also serve as transporters. So you can put an object to a variable and then send that variable to another operation inside your script. Let's take as an example this line here. Here we replaced the A letter with the O letter using the replace method, and then we printed on the fly the output using the print function. Now, another more constructive way to do this would be to store this output inside a variable. Say, let's call this variable replaced, and that will be equal to all this. So you don't need the brackets here. You have stored the ordered string inside the replaced variable, and then you can use the value stored in that variable for other operations. Let's say print replaced, save the script, and then execute. Pressing the upper arrow in your keyboard calls the previously executed line in your command line. So enter. And so we get ordered printed out. Similarly, you can store other objects inside variables, and you can have any name that you want inside a variable, but it's not a good idea to put keywords as variable names, so you cannot say print equals to something, because print is a Python keyword. So put some meaningful names. Let's say currency equals to 145. If you want to use some longer names, you can. Currency today, for example, equal 100.5. You can even use numbers inside your variable. Let's say currency 1 equals to nothing. So as you can see, you can store numbers and you can store string inside variables. So you can store every possible object. I said you can use numbers inside a variable name, but you cannot use a number as the first character of a variable. So you cannot say currency. You'll get an error if you do that. And then if you want, you can print these variables out, all of them at the same time. Currency, and then you have currency today, and then again currency 1. Save the script, go to your command line, and you have all those values printed out. And one last thing I would like to say is that spaces here do not matter. So if you want to keep things short, you can choose not to use any space between the variable and the assignment operator, or between the assignment operator and the number. If you want to keep things readable, you can put a space here. So it's up to you. Python will treat them the same in either case. So that's not a lot of magic about variables, and this is what you need to know. I'll see you in the next lecture.